Sairam, dear listeners, Sail It presents Sai Glory. On this festive Christmas season, we bring to you a very special episode by Sai Youth Vaasanthi Samyuktha.
In this episode, she shares how Swami appeared before her at the tender age of 6 and miraculously healed her. This was the calling for her entire family to enter into the Sai fold.
Her narration on how she sees Swami as her best friend is indeed heartwarming. Witness the same
And let's immerse ourselves in His Divinity.
My humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathyasaibaba. How I actually got introduced to Swami is a bit of a wild story actually. My grandmother, so my mom's mom, is a very ardent Sai devotee. She was not brought up, but she was involved in the Swami fold, and she's actually the one who has introduced me to Swami. So I'm very grateful and thankful for her for introducing me to someone very special in my life. So how this happened, at the age of 6, I was actually diagnosed with this condition called lazy eye. It's a condition where one of your eyes actually becomes droopy and almost shuts down. It didn't mean that I lost my vision, but my one eye was not working as well. So I was diagnosed about 4 months into the age of 6, and the cure for it is up until the age of 7. So I had roughly less than a year to deal with this issue, and this definitely shook my entire family. This was not something that we expected. It was a very emotional thing that we all went through when I was diagnosed, because at the age of 6, these problems shouldn't really happen. I was wearing the eye patch on my left eye because and people would come up to me and they would be like staring at me like, why does she have one eye closed? And parents would ask me, children would ask me what, and they would point at my eye and be like, why are you wearing that? Is there something wrong with your eye? And my mom standing next to me would almost like tear up. She'd start to cry, and I'd tell everyone, you know how people wear casts when they break their hand or break their ankles or something? Just like that, I have a cast for my eye. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better very soon. So I was a very motivated child that I would get better soon, but little did I know that Swami is the one who's going to help me get better soon. So I went to India after my diagnosis for my uncle's housewarming in Bangalore. And then from Bangalore, we actually came to Hyderabad, stayed there for a couple of days, and then came back to Singapore. So it was 2 days before we were leaving Hyderabad to come back to Singapore when a very big experience happened. So during that entire trip, I was sleeping with my grandmother, and my grandmother was reading me this book called All the Miracles Done by Swami, and it was a very thick book, and it was written in Telugu. And it's basically this introductory guide to who is Swami. So it had pictures of Covent Hall, and it showed where the boys sit, where the girls sit, the interview room, everything. It also talked about the Whitefield one, the Brindavan one, Anantapur campus, everything. And so she really taught me everything that there is to know about Swami, and I'd sit next to her and I'd look at the pictures, and I can easily identify this is where Swami sits, that's the interview room, this is where he comes from, that's his house, boys sit here, girls sit there, and everything. And she'd tell me incredible stories about Swami and the miracles that he has done, and I was definitely interested, and it piqued my curiosity. And I began to question my grandmother, and I would ask her, who is this? Is he real? Is he alive? Are you making this up? Is he some sort of magician possibly? Like, I was a very confused person. And she would say, if you really want him, you have to call for him and he will come for you. And at that time, I found out that he only traveled outside of India to South Africa. And he's never traveled anywhere else. But Swami does say he is omnipresent and he is everywhere. So I wanted him to physically come to Singapore. and I really desperately wanted to see him. So I actually confronted my mom about this, and I asked her, let's go to Bangalore. You can just drive to Parthi. I want to go see Swami. And my mom was like, Samyu, we were just there, like we can't go back. And that got me even more upset. So my grandmother was like, Samyu, why not you call Swami? Why don't you say that, Swami, I want you to come to Singapore. And if you believe very hard, he will come to Singapore. Like he will. And I was like, fair enough, all right. So I started praying, and I was ardently asking. I'd have a little Swami photo with me, or I'd pray in front of the book. I'd say, Swami, you have to come to Singapore. Like, no doubt you need to come. So the day we were leaving, my mom packed all our suitcases, and it was a midnight flight. And just as we were leaving, I realized I wanted that book. And it was like about that thick, and it was written fully in Telugu script. Now, my mom knows Telugu, but she struggles a little to read Telugu. So she said, Samyu, no, don't bring it. Plus, we didn't have any luggage to carry it. But I was like, no, I need to bring it. So the entire flight, I actually carried the book in my hand, the entire flight and all the way back home. And I still have it in my closet till today. So we came back at around 8 o'clock, and we were sleeping in the master bedroom, when all of a sudden I just woke up and I started screaming that Swami is here. I could see Swami at the foot of the bed, fully standing, orange robe, and he was really tall, and he was looking down upon me. And this is me not wearing glasses, and he was perfectly clear, like crystal clear. I could see him. So I started looking, like, and for me, when I wake up, I need to look for my glasses. I was just in shell shock to see Swami right in front of my eyes, and I can't even begin to explain the feelings and the emotions that I had. It's almost like time stood still and everything like stopped around me. And you would think that as a 6-year-old, you'd be scared to see like this very bushy head, you know, like against the light, you know, tall man in your house wearing an orange robe. But if anything, I felt at peace. I felt completely calm. I felt safe even, that, you know, I'm meant to be here. Like he's meant to be here in front of me. And he just had this small little smile, no teeth showing, but this soft little smile that I cannot like even begin to describe. Like I've never seen him smile like that ever in my life. But it was a small little smile he looked, and a little twinkle in his eyes, you know, and he just looked at me and he smiled. And that's when I knew he did keep up his promise to me, which I mentioned to my mom as I woke her up. And I bent down and I looked at him, almost asking for permission to take Pad Namaskar. And I bent down and I touched his feet, and they were super soft. And I was like, Ma, he's leaving. And at that point, Swami actually started to turn and walk out the door. So I'm like waking up my mom. I get my glasses and we're running out, and she follows after me. The second we leave the bedroom, the front door slowly shuts. No one was in the house. My dad had gone to work. The windows were closed. There was no way the door could have opened and closed, but it started to close. I was like, Ma, he's walking out. And so we ran out to the door, and just as we opened the door, the lift started to shut. And I was like, Ma, you missed him. And I got really angry at my mom. And I was like, why didn't you see him? Why didn't you see him? You know, I saw him. He was right there. And it was very, very much real. And so with that, that's where I started to believe that Swami is real, and I never again questioned whether he was real or not. And this incident was one of the many incidents that happened in my house. He has definitely changed my life since then, and this can be seen 2 weeks after we came back. We had my eye test to do, and we conducted a bunch of different tests, and my doctor actually did a couple more than usual, and he came back with the results, and he sat with my parents, and he was like, I don't know what happened, but it's a miracle that something like your eyesight is completely gone, like you don't have lazy eye anymore. And I was in shock. I didn't know. My mom was like, this can't be possible. But he said, he used the specific words, it's a miracle. But there's no signs of lazy eye. Until today, I don't wear glasses. My eyesight is completely all right. Since that experience, Swami has continuously been in my life till this date. I think just throughout my childhood, I had multiple small little experiences, but Things that I can remember, I always used to have dialogues with Swami. I was someone who actually was able to communicate with Swami. I would go into the altar room, be in the backside, and I just sit down and I just talk to him like I am right now with you. And if anything, I always saw Swami as a friend, and even till today, I don't see Swami as almost like God or a higher force or a higher power. I think he's just my friend, you know, like sitting here right next to me, like I'm not looking up or anything. It's like he's just right there holding my hand, guiding me through everything in life that I've been through, and I am forever grateful for having Swami in my life. Just little experiences, like one that I can think of is in 2007, it was around August time, and we were going to the US to visit some family and friends, and by that age I was very excited, and I started packing. My sister and I, we were discussing with each other, and we were like, okay, let's pack our swimsuits. So we went and got them, and then I went into the altar and I was like, Swami, you got to bring a swimsuit too. I mean, we got to go swimming together. You got to be involved in our lives, because like I said, Swami's not a god to me. He's like my best friend. So I told him, let's go pack a swimsuit, and then I realized, you know what, no, I don't want him to pack a swimsuit. And so I was like, no, Swami, actually don't. And so my sister and I were arguing, why can't he pack a swimsuit? Let him pack a swimsuit. And I was like, but what if something's happening to us? We both are very inexperienced swimmers. What if something happens to us and Swami's going around having fun in the pool? Like, that's not allowed. Swami's got to take care of us. So we made sure that Swami didn't pack his swimsuit, and thankfully we were all safe. During every time we were in a pool or something, Swami was watching over us. And that's just a little story that almost mimics what's real life like. You know, even though I don't ask him to do certain things, he's always watching over me, no matter what. I always feel safe. I always knew that Swami is always watching over me, be it through another person, be it through just the presence, that feeling. He was always there watching out for me. And even till today, he's staying here watching over me. So yeah. So I started Bal Vikas at the age of 5, and while I was introduced to Swami at the age of 6, from 5 to 6 I was actually going just to learn about the human values, learn more about how to be a better human, better citizen and things like that, and just be a little bit more grounded. But then when I reached the age of 6 and I learned about who Swami is, my understanding about Bal Vikas changed, and my view of Bal Vikas changed, because now I know who Swami is, who is the person that we are discussing about and things like that. So with that, I've been in Bal Vikas since the age of 5 till now, and I'm actually currently a youth guru at my center. So I've completed the Bal Vikas program, and now I am training to be a youth guru and being more active in my center as a youth. So Bal Vikas has definitely taught me a lot of things, and aside from the human values and the morals, it has taught me about how to handle different life experiences, different things that life throws at you, and I've learned to handle them in a way that Swami will be proud of me and Swami will be happy with. Instead of using anger and frustration, I would use love and kindness to tackle certain issues. And Bal Vikas has definitely shaped me as to who I am today. And there are certain things in my life, certain values that I have, which I can only thank Bal Vikas for. One of them being about my food. I do not waste food at all in my life. I don't throw any of my food. I consciously am aware of how much I'm eating, how much I'm taking, and I eat only how much that I feel I can eat. And I thank Bal Vikas for that, because of one specific experience that I was taught through Bal Vikas. There was a devotee and Swami who went to some place for a function that Swami was attending. And this devotee was actually looking out the window at the accommodation that they were placed at, and the function's happening here, and over here there are a bunch of children fighting to eat the food that was thrown away in the trash, and they were very aggressively pulling each other, trying to take the food. And this is trash, the food that has been thrown away and discarded from the event. And this devotee was extremely shocked and disturbed, because Swami does say, I'm in everyone, I'm omnipresent, I always love. And all these things, and then you see things like this happen. So he was very angry at Swami, and so suddenly Swami came from behind him, and he said, and he flipped out on Swami, and he was like, Swami, what is this? Explain this to me. You say you're in everyone, you say you love everyone, however you're doing this, and you are making these children eat dirty food, so why are you doing this? And Swami calmly and sweetly says, you don't know this, but these children in their previous life were given much more than what they have right now. They were given food in silver plates and gold plates. They were the richest of the kids, and they were spoiled little kids where they wouldn't eat their food. They would throw it away with no care. And now in their next life, they are coming to pay and pay their karma, and so now they're eating the food that they had discarded in their previous life. And this devotee was absolutely shocked, and he was like, oh my God, Swami, I didn't mean that, and he profusely apologized. And the moral of the story is, in basic terms, don't waste food, because you will come back to clear that karma, and you will come back to eat that food again. And for me, consciously, I don't want to ever be in that position. No one wants to be in that position. So it is the dirty truth of life. There are people who do live like that, but we need to understand that, we can't take things for granted. We need to be thankful for what we have today, and this is one of the biggest experiences that has shaped me. Yeah. Whatever I am today is because of Swami, and for that will be eternally grateful for him. I thank Swami for all the qualities that he has given me and taught me, and specifically 3: kindness, service, and compassion. I hold these very dearly to my heart, and I always think of Swami when I participate in service and things that have these qualities. For example, parents, children, adults, they all celebrate their birthdays. Since the age of 8, I have not celebrated my birthday, and instead I've been donating money, the money that I would use for my birthday party, for the cake, the guests, the goodie bags, everything that you can really think of. I take that money and instead I donate it to cancer organizations in India who treat children, who deal specifically with children and cancer research. I mainly focus on donating for children who need money and financial support for the treatments and post-treatment. And going off that, every 3 or 4 years I actually donate, cut my hair to make wigs for children, because cancer is something where people can lose their hair, and especially being someone who likes to take care of her hair and maintain my hair, I also believe that other children who don't have hair should have the opportunity to feel good about themselves, and having hair is not just is just one little aspect. And I'm not saying that beauty is the only thing that's important, it's their heart. But for me personally, I would feel good having given my hair to someone. So I cut my hair every 3-4 years to donate to children. Aside from that, I do a lot of service at school. I actually work volunteer at Tembusu Home and Sunlove Home. Now these are 2 separate homes. Sunlove is a home with over 100 residents who live there, and we serve them food, and we play games with them, we entertain them by singing songs and dance. Whereas Tembusu is senior citizens that come every day from the morning to the evening, almost like school, and we go once a month and we just provide some food, play games with them, they get to win prizes, and it's just a bonding experience that we have with the elderly. So I know it's very difficult for youth to be involved in the Swami fold, and maybe you might not have different avenues, you don't know where to start. Personally, for me, I don't like to read the literature. I think it's great, I just don't personally feel motivated to read, but instead I listen a lot to Radio Sai, specifically Fleeting Moments, Lasting Memories. I listen to Soul Journs, which is basically a similar version of this. I listen to Prema Nosh's talks, just any platform that you can think that I can think of. I just listen at night, and I don't listen to this during the day where I'm doing work. However, every single night I like to listen to these talks, and whether I fall asleep quickly or fall asleep late, I like to know that my last thoughts during the day is something related to Swami. And these experiences might not hit everyone, but every time I listen, I pick up some sort of an experience, some story, some moral from them that inspires me every single day to be who I am. So yeah. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Swami. Swami, you've done so much for me, and you will continue to do more for me, and I'm eternally grateful for everything that you have given me and the experiences that I've had with you. Thank you so much. I also want to thank my parents and my family, because without them, I wouldn't be in Bal Vikas. I wouldn't be taught the amazing values that I've been taught. You know, I just driving me every week for Bal Vikas, driving me for bhajans. I know I don't express it enough, but I am very, very grateful for everything that you do for me. And my gurus, I've had so many gurus since the age of 5, and every single one of them has touched my heart and has taught me something that I will forever cherish. So thank you to my gurus. And also being an international school student, you know, being in different international schools, specifically UWC, I want to thank the teachers, the staff there, because UWC, one of their core values is service, and it perfectly aligns with my values and teachings that I learned in Bal Vikas. So thank you for giving me the opportunities to do different services and not preventing me from expressing myself through service. So thank you so much. Swami, 10 years ago, I told you to pack your swimsuits because we're going to go swimming. Now I'm asking you to pack up everything and join me and help me and guide me for the next chapters of my life, because I can't do it without you. Sairam.